Episode number 20. Have a great day at school. Hey lovelies, War Baby here with a disclaimer. This tale is truly terrifying. I mean, even I had a difficult time not thinking about his case when it was time to go to sleep. So I wanted everyone to know that if you thought any previous episode was horrifying, this one may haunt you just a bit longer. But as always, I'll be gentle and just remember, don't be scared. Philip Chism and the murder of Colleen Ritzer. Being forced to uproot and move homes can sometimes have a devastating effect on children. If the moves are frequent or require a child to leave a place they truly feel is home, kids can be seriously traumatized, whether they show it or not. If the move is a result of parents splitting up, that can add another layer of pain onto an already tender wound. Diana and Stacy Chism's marriage appeared to have been tumultuous. They married in September 1998, and their son Philip was born in January of 1999. In March 2001, Diana filed for a legal separation, with the request made for supervised visitation only by the father. Both signed a parenting plan document that said Stacy Chism had committed both physical and emotional abuse against his family. They reconciled that summer. Divorce filings were made in 2011 and again in 2013. Stacy Chism accused his wife of suffering from depression so crippling she verbally abused Philip and rocked catatonic on the sofa for hours at a time. She accused him of adultery and later failure to provide financial assistance. The couple's divorce was eventually finalized in October 2014. We can trace Diana and her children's movements somewhat through Philip's school records. He attended 4th grade in Clarksville, Tennessee, and 5th grade at Hammock Point Elementary School in Boca Raton, Florida, where he attended a field trip to the White House and was a student campus security guard. Back in Clarksville for 6th, 7th, and 8th grades at Rossville Middle School, 9th grade marked his 1,000-mile-plus move to Danvers High School outside Salem, Massachusetts. The story of Philip Chism's murderous intent is frankly damn near unbelievable. As a 14-year-old freshman at Danvers High School, he was somehow able to follow his math teacher, 24-year-old Colleen Ritzer, into a girls' restroom on the 2nd floor of the school. Crime were captured on Danvers High School security cameras. Basically, only the crime itself remains a mystery, thank goodness, as the murder was committed within the confines of the bathroom. The link to this footage is of course in the show notes, and it will likely chill you to the bone. It would later come out that this new and innovative security camera system had flaws, such as cameras being mislabeled as to their correct location and timestamps not being accurate. Regardless, the footage garnered from the day of the crime leaves very little to the imagination and proved invaluable. At 2:54 p.m., Miss Ritzer is shown leaving her classroom and heading to the bathroom. 1 minute later, we see Philip exit the same classroom, look around the hall, step back into the classroom, and step right back out into the hall, beginning to pull the hood of his sweatshirt up over his head as he follows his teacher. And in the last few frames we see before he enters the bathroom, Philip dons what appears to be a pair of yellow cleaning gloves, along with a black balaclava-style mask. Right there in the high school hallway. It was approximately 11 minutes later when the female student entered and immediately exited the bathroom at 3:06 p.m., with Philip exiting pretty much right on her heels. This is when he runs through campus to retrieve the bin, bringing it to the bathroom at 3:16 p.m. 6 minutes later, Philip once again exits the second-floor girls' bathroom, pulling the recycle bin and wearing the black ski mask. For the following 10 minutes, we can watch him pull the bin containing his math teacher down to the ground floor, around the perimeter of the school and parking lot, and into the woods behind campus. He's out there for the next 30 minutes, and at 4 p.m. he re-enters the building with blood clearly visible on both his jeans and his hands. He's barefoot. He enters the boys' bathroom and emerges in a completely different outfit, dark shorts and a hoodie and dark shoes. He leaves school grounds and is next caught on surveillance cameras at the Hollywood Hits movie theater, where he uses Ms. Ritzer's credit card to purchase a movie ticket. He sits through the Woody Allen movie Blue Jasmine, and by the time it's likely ending around 6:35 p.m., his mother Diana has called Danvers police, reporting her 14-year-old son missing. Around 9 p.m., school faculty and staff were alerted via email that they had a student missing, and shortly thereafter were notified that a teacher was missing as well. Around 12:30 a.m., Tops Field Patrol Officer Neil Hovey saw Chism walking along Route 1. He didn't immediately know he had found Danvers' missing student, especially because this young man was taller and more athletic than most 14-year-olds. However, Officer Hovey was well aware that Danvers High School had a freshman who hadn't returned home from school that afternoon. His daughter had seen social media posts alerting her dad when he was still at home. Once at work, roll call had reiterated their dire situation. Due to his older appearance, along with the fact that Chism didn't immediately identify himself when initially questioned, Officer Hovey decided that he should perform a quick pat and frisk before proceeding. He was alone, and he needed to be cognizant of his own safety in this unknown situation. This was a notoriously dark and dangerous stretch of road.
And what, if any, communication did you have with him at that time?
I asked him where he was going. He said nowhere.
And what else did you ask him?
I then asked him where he was coming from, and he stated Tennessee. I again asked him, because those were not typical responses, I again asked him where he was going, and he again stated nowhere. I asked him where he lived, and he stated he has no address. I asked him if he had an ID on him.
And what did he tell you?
No.
Now, sir, at some point had Officer DiBernardo arrived?
Yes.
And did he join in your conversation with the defendant?
When Officer DiBernardo arrived, he asked him to take his hands out of his pockets. He asked him what was in the backpack.
And what did the defendant say when Officer DiBernardo asked him what was in the backpack?
He stated survival gear. At that time, I asked him to remove the contents from his pockets. There was 2 Massachusetts driver's licenses. There was credit cards, and there was an insurance card. After I examined the IDs, I looked at the party and I asked him, "What is your name?"
And what did he tell you?
Philip Chism. Well, I went from concern for my own safety to almost a parent mode where I really couldn't believe. I was in disbelief that I had found the missing 14-year-old and that I was able to bring a 14-year-old home safely to his parents.
Although Chism told officers he'd stolen the cars from a car parked at a Stop and Shop, there wasn't one of those within 3 miles. They put the shivering teen in a patrol car and took him to their station. He wasn't read his rights, handcuffed, or officially detained. He was still considered just a 14-year-old missing kid, even though his demeanor and possessions were worrisome. For now, they were just glad they got him back. The officers turned their attention back to the knapsack. Far more sinister evidence was hiding out.
I asked him if there's anything dangerous in the backpack that would cause harm to myself. He stated yes. I grew a little more concerned. There was a sheer underwear, a white wallet. There was 2 rolls of 2-inch tape. There was a flashlight. There was scuba diving knife. At that time, I opened up the white wallet. I observed a box cutter. The blade was still protruding out, and it had a reddish, brownish colored substance on the box cutter. Then I asked him, "Whose blood is this?" He said, "It's the girl's." At that time, my partner read him his Miranda rights. I stayed there for that process. Then I left the room and went into the dispatch area to call Danvers police and tell them what we had found. And my partner brought to my attention 2 pieces of clothing, the sweatshirt that he was wearing and the sneakers. At that time, my partner had taken those 2 objects away from the defendant. Then he pointed out to me the similar brown, reddish stains that were on the jacket, and also the same similar stains on the sneakers.
And when you say similar, do you mean similar to those on the box cutter?
Yes.
They stop, close it up, and proceed with caution. This doesn't appear to just be a missing kid case anymore, not at all. Responding officers, the school resource officer, and other staff members descend on Danvers High after being alerted by her family that she didn't come home from work. It is now the middle of the night. Concerned searchers immediately spot Miss Ritzer's car in the school parking lot. They fan out. They see no personal property in her classroom and little evidence elsewhere within the school buildings. The search party expands to the woods adjacent to the parking lot and soon begin to spot personal belongings that are surely out of place amongst the rocks and trees. First a shoe, then what is definitely Colleen's bag. Down toward the bottom of an embankment, an overturned recycle bin was visible on its side, lid open. The body of Miss Ritzer has been located. Near her was a handwritten note reading, "I hate you all." Danvers police took over the investigation from there with the help of state police. Diana Chism, Philip's mother, went down to the station and spoke with Lieutenant Norman Zuck of the Massachusetts State Police. She had come to retrieve her missing child, but was now confusedly attempting to help authorities extract Colleen Ritzer's location from him. She was hesitant yet somewhat eager to assist. Having worked for CPS in Tennessee, she had a limited understanding of what was ultimately at risk here for her son. She asked, did she need a lawyer? She boasted about his soccer skills and advanced high school courses. She asked if he had been arrested or had brought harm to anyone. She says, "Please don't tell me someone's dead. Oh my God, I'm going to pass out. Is it a freshman teacher?" She tells Lieutenant Zuck that Philip dislikes the Spanish teacher. She says she knew he was capable of snapping. He had slapped a classmate once in the 7th grade, so she knew he could get angry. She also mentions a history of mental illness in her family. Diana Chism admitted to police that night that she had no clue what Philip had been getting up to from the time school let out at 1:50 p.m. until the start of soccer practice, around the time the crime allegedly occurred for the previous few weeks up until that day. 14-year-old freshman Philip Chism was interrogated, arrested, and charged with the sexual assault and murder of his 24-year-old math teacher, Colleen Ritzer. According to police, Philip Chism admitted that he had killed his math teacher. However, he vehemently denied any kind of sexual assault. He was ultimately indicted in Salem Superior Court with murder, aggravated rape, and armed robbery, to which he pleaded not guilty. He was indicted on a second charge of rape, as it was alleged that not only had Colleen been raped in the bathroom, but in the woods she had been violated with a branch. He pleaded not guilty on January 30th, 2014 to one charge of unnatural rape. Warby Parker was founded with a rebellious spirit and lofty goal to create boutique-quality eyewear at a revolutionary price point. The Warby Parker aesthetic is vintage-inspired with a contemporary twist. Every pair is custom-fit with anti-scratch, anti-glare coatings on your anti-reflective prescription polycarbonate lenses starting at only $95. There's a frame for every face, and Warby Parker's 5 pairs for 5 days home try-on program is so easy to use, it gave me the confidence to know I was choosing the best-fitting, best-looking frame for my look. I'm not gonna lie, but selecting the Maeve frame was difficult since every pair was unique, comfortable, and ultra-high quality. But with the at-home try-on program, I can see and feel for myself that Maeve was the frame for me. Go to warbyparker.com/murderousminors now to get started on your way to the perfect pair of glasses. Once you've placed your home order, visit the iTunes App Store and download the Warby Parker app to try their fun home try-on companion feature. 100% free and with no obligation to buy, Every pair purchased means a pair is distributed to someone in need. Visit Warby